Hi, this is Jill Varvel with the Dixiecast podcast, The Sound of the South. Today I'm going to talk about the benefits and disadvantages of working on a team as a realtor or working with a team as a buyer or seller. It's a question that I have gotten in the past, and it's a question that I always appreciate because it was important to me when I was purchasing a home. A team contrasts with a single agent or a solo agent, as sometimes called. A team can have one team member with several licensees / team members on the team who all perform differing roles. Typically, the lead team member is the individual whose name you will see on the real estate signs or the person whom you will initially connect with. The team members are the individuals on the team who often perform a host of varying functions, ranging from listing input, opening homes so that buyers may take a look inside, hosting open houses on the weekends, doing marketing, lead generation. The team exists ultimately for the function and efficiency of the team. A team might be promoted as getting many services for the price of one, or many individuals working for you for the price of one, or put another way, many hands make for light work. This can be true, but sometimes the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. And sometimes the service that you receive can feel somewhat disjointed, or that you're dealing with a different person all the time, or perhaps even having to explain the same thing to a different individual. These are just some realities of working with a team, perhaps the less favorable perspective. Working with a solo agent, by contrast, can feel very personalized. Having one individual who is consistently your contact person, that can be a perceived benefit. Of course, disadvantage might be that that individual can only be one place at one time. So you might, when contrasting it with working with a team, perceive that maybe you're not getting as many services as you could. So what's best? That depends on you and your level of comfort and your own expectations. Some people, for example, when hiring a doctor, a lawyer, or an insurance agent, they prefer to only deal with one person versus the whole team. I mean, you walk into a doctor's office, you're going to be greeted by a receptionist and then a medical assistant or a physician's assistant to take your vitals. You might deal with a doctor only rarely, on rare occasion, because a doctor has a lot of patients and they can't necessarily be the one person that is with you from the very beginning. Same with an attorney. You hire an attorney and you communicate with the paralegals. Contrasting that with a solo agent, you hire a solo agent, you're very likely going to just deal with that solo agent. They might have an assistant who maybe hangs their signs or hangs their key boxes, etc. But for the most part, those are kind of the main differences when you're working with a team versus a solo agent. And ultimately, it's all dependent upon your level of comfort and your own expectations. Concerning being a real estate agent and joining a team versus working as a solo agent, if you're a new agent, joining a team can be a productive way of learning the industry in a less kind of, I don't want to say frantic, but in a less stressful manner. You're going to have a lot of collaboration with your team. You're all kind of working together, and you might just have a benefit of securing for yourself a more stable source of income while likewise learning the business. The disadvantage, of course, could be you're assigned to a very specific job and you're not able to necessarily see the whole wide spectrum that you might otherwise gain if it's just you handling the transaction from beginning to end. As a new agent, I had a background in title insurance. I already understood sort of how things worked. So I did not personally feel the need to join a team. I also wanted to sort of hit the ground running and figure things out for myself. I'd also wanted to cultivate my own brand. I didn't want to be under somebody else's brand and rules and ways of doing business. I wanted to cultivate that for myself. So that's kind of just a, I don't know, nutshell of either working with a team as a realtor or as a buyer or seller, hiring a team for yourself. Ultimately, it depends on what is best for you. If I were a buyer or a seller and I were interviewing both solo agents as well as teams, I would ask what are the benefits of working with either and letting the agent themselves tell you about it. Let them talk, hear what they have to say, and through those details determine what is important to you and also anticipate certain questions. For example, with a team, ask how long the team has been together. Is it many members and have they been there for a month and then a new member comes on board? And then, in other words, find out about the stability of the team. If you're working with a solo agent, ask how long they have been working and what types of transactions they've undergone and how they work. Ask about vacations. Are they going to take on your listing or start representing you to find a home and then go off to Europe for a month? And if they do, who is going to cover for them? So be anticipatory as you undergo your questioning, both as a realtor and as a buyer or seller, and ultimately determine what works best for you. If you have questions that I can answer, please feel free to direct them to me. My name is Jill Varvel. I'm with the Dixiecast podcast, The Sound of the South, and I'll see you next time for another heaping helping of Southern comfort for your ears.
Keep on the sunny side, always